Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another vlog. So what are we going to do today? Well, I'm in a bit of a rush. Although I got up nice and early, I piffled around at home. So I've come out late. It's coming up to sun up. It's a beautiful sunrise this morning, which hopefully I can just show you some video footage of, because I don't think I'm going to get time to take photographs. I've got to walk up the hill. And also, hopefully no problems with sound. I've left my microphone kit at work. It's just one of those weekends, isn't it? So it's absolutely beautiful. Let me just show you what's going on at Roach End at the Roaches today. Seriously lovely. So I'm just going to get my gear out, then I'll start making my way up the hill and we'll have a chat. It was the last vlog, or maybe the one before, can't remember which. I mentioned that the heather was already starting to bloom. I was at Padley Gorge. I was absolutely right. It's all coming out. Great bunches of it here, but not enough light right now to do anything with it. But I'm hoping to get some good shots and maybe sort of explain how I deal with the heather, how I look at it when I'm trying to put a composition together. It's not rocket science, it's not fancy pants, maybe a little bit of wankery going on creatively, but yeah, I'm hoping I can show you some nice stuff with this early light that's about to come up. Again, I'll just swing around. This video not quite doing it justice. The blue is a lot more vivid than I'm seeing on the screen. There's a heck of a orangey hue, and then around me, as often happens, I can see peach band around the horizon. Now the sun has just breached the horizon. It's going to get a bit easier to do these sunrise shots as the mornings are sort of moving towards 6 a.m. Obviously sunsets are going to start getting a little bit earlier now, and it all falls during the autumn into this quite convenient window for me. So obviously with that in the colour, I'm looking forward to it. But meanwhile, I'm almost at the first stop that I want to take a look at. The fact that the sun up and there was some beautiful cloud, but that's now gone. That was all burned with a kind of magenta. It probably won't work out. I'm going to have a look at it. I've done the shot before, so I'm not exactly upset. So it would have been nice to show you, getting it done. Although there is a video of me shooting this particular rock. It's just up here. Okay, I'm at my rock. The sun is just to the left of it. In my other shot, it actually is more to the right, and it worked quite well because there's a crack in the rock, which you probably couldn't see from the video I just put up. So it's quite a nice vantage point. I'm standing on a rock right now. It gives me a bit of elevation to look above the heather that's here. It's still not lit well enough, and may not be, because it's, this is going to be protected from the sun by the big rock. So I'm going to walk up a little bit just so I can allow the crack to look into the sun, and we'll see what it's like there. Okay, so first up, for this shot I would need a wider angle lens. I've got the 24-105 on right now, but it's just flat. It needs dimension. I've got to be looking at it a different angle, just flat on, constrained by this. You know what, I'll put it up so you can see. Okay, there you go. So we do have some interesting heather, and I'm elevated again. I'm standing on a rock, but it's not quite working, so I do want to come around a little bit to take in some of this side. Oh, there we go, sorry, take in some of this side. And I am also going to wait for the sun just to rise a little bit more, because I don't think there's not enough colour spilling around the rock, let alone through it here. So yeah, I'm just going to move the camera around. This is all you do in landscape photography, just piffle around. It's all I'm doing, piffling, all morning, piffling. Yeah, this is going to be better. I'm going to have to turn the video off, because I've got to just adjust this stand, because the last thing I want is the camera to fall over. Okay, I'm going to put up the shot I've just taken now, and then I think you'll see that it's a bit too compact, but that's largely because of the light. If there was more exciting light, I think that compact shot would work as it did previously for me when I had a tremendous amount of light coming from the right hand side. And I still want it to be brighter. I still want a bit of light to push through that crack in the wall there, and to illuminate the side of it, just to give it give it the moment of illumination. Does that sound stupid? I don't know. That's what I want anyway. I want more light, and I know it's going to come, so I'm going to be patient. I really want to keep walking, but I'm going to be patient. I'm going to catch this bad boy. Now I'm going to put the 15 to 30 on, so I want to open it up just a little bit more. Okay, I'm all set up. Not a great deal of, you know, really technical stuff going on here, except for one thing. The other things I've left at work. So I've left my mic set, I left my 360 camera, which is not a big deal. Mic is annoying because I'm gonna have to really try and make this sound work. But I left my ND filter, which again, you can work without an ND filter, but it means you've got a bracket, you've got to faff about. Anyway, somehow I've left that at work as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna take some shots of the cloud as it stands right now and do some brackets, get the exposure how I like it for both. Just gives me something to work on in Lightroom. With the 15 to 30 mil on, I always get that wrong. I've got a bit more real estate, and I have had to move a tiny bit closer to maintain the composition, the integrity of it, of course, because once you go wider, things start pushing back to accommodate what you've done, and it's just finding that happy medium. And the light is creeping up on the rock. I'll walk up to it. I'm gonna show you. So, like, you know, basically we've got all this lovely foreground. I'm going to talk about that in a second, about foreground and about how I view heather. But so we've got all this lovely foreground, then this fantastic rock structure, and it really is amazing. Let me just come up. It's gritstone, just for people who want to know, and it catches colour really well. You know, colour in the light. And then as you can see, we're starting to get light through here, and nice background in it there. I may even come up, actually, now I've seen this, and do a bit more with it. But yeah, it's starting to catch. So I'm going to go back to the camera now. Doing a few handheld shots as I walk away from these rocks because they look great. I'm going to be shooting away from the sun, so I don't feel the need to stick on the tripod to faff around with bracketing, that kind of thing. I should be able to get just the right shutter speed, just the right aperture to capture all the information I need for when I get to Lightroom. Now the rocks here, whilst wonderful looking, and I've shot them a few times, this is the time to shoot them. Okay, so there's no trees to take advantage of, there's no foliage in summer, spring, autumn, nothing, and in winter they just look exactly the same. But when you get the heather, it adds some colour to a scene that would otherwise, I think, be quite stark and dull. Now don't get me wrong, this is the this is the one scene that, for sure, that benefits from cloudy weather, from dull weather, because it gives you the stark bleakness of it all, and it can look quite nice. But you get heather in front of it, and it's a whole different ball game, with light striking the rocks and with heather offering you that colour and a little bit of foreground. It looks amazing. I love this. A fantastically shaped rock with incredible texturing in it, and then the light striking the heather that's around it. Let's say a complex cloud structure, because unfortunately we do have the chemtrails in there turning us into frogs. But there's also birds flying on, which I can't capture. I haven't got the right gear for that, but it's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. the trig point now. I've done this incredibly fast this morning. I can't believe it. Maybe I'm getting healthier, I don't know. But I'm at the trig point. It's a beautiful place, this, and I've always said it can be, you know, if there's no cloud, shooting these things is normally garbage. But if there's good cloud structure behind them, then it's pretty cool. And if you've got a sunset or a sunrise, you know, you've got things going on. Again, the heather around the rocks, nestled in between some. I mean, you'll rarely get the heather at the actual stone at the trig point because it's so worn and there's always rocks gathered around it. But around the edges, you know, if you're lucky, certainly here at the Roaches, you've got a bit and you can use that as your foreground. It's not right now. It's not as full as I'd like it, but it's good enough to do a shot to show you guys. We aren't quite at the full bloom of the heather yet. This is just the start, which is, and again, reassuring because you know you've got weeks of this ahead. It's going to get even better. But like, for example, here, although I've got these little clumps of heather and they look great, all behind me, all of that, what would you call it, almost a moorside, I guess, will turn purple. It'll be amazing. So gear up for this. Now, what am I doing? So I'm making my way over to the pool, which won't be very good because they fenced it off. But there's an area around there that I think might work. But I'll tell you about that when I get there. Loads of run one because this morning this dude has actually gone past me now and then come back. That's how fast he's going. He's literally done the Roaches and back. Amazing. Just singing your praises here, mate. So by the time I've got here, you've done 2 runs.
I have.
Keep at it, mate. See you at the Olympics, yeah?
I'll get one done.
Oh, I thought you fell over then. Would have been hilarious. I do get people who want to sort of start doing vlogging occasionally ask me, you know, is it easy to talk when there's people around? I'm like, well, it is for me. And what do you do if, you know, people are around us? I normally talk louder because someone talking loud is terrifying. People just want to get past you as fast as possible. That or touching yourself inappropriately does the trick as well. Okay, little section for the grizzled, world-weary photographer followers who already follow all this sort of stuff. What's going on in the photography? Well, Dave of Let's Click Photography gave me a shout out, which is kind of him because I was taking the piss. But what I like about Dave, good humoured and scary. What else? We got my mate Craig. He came along with me to do Chrome Hill, and he said he was going to go up Jacob's ladder. Again, remember, I'll always tell you what he's going to do if he makes the mistake of telling me first. So he's going to go up Jacob's ladder, and he isn't. I said, oh yeah, right, Jacob's ladder, good luck with that. And then he said, oh well, I might only go halfway up. He's such a knob. Good old Thomas Heaton put up a I gotta be honest now, man. Whenever I speak, if I ever speak negatively of big channel photographers, it's because I'm jealous and envious. But I'm not going to let that stop me. So I haven't really watched any of Tom's videos recently, or Nigel's. I don't give a toss about your camper van. But I saw he was doing storm chasing, and I thought, oh, that's something I'll never be able to do in Britain. But I watched that, and I saw the thumbnail, and he's there looking out wistful while there's a huge tornado to the side. I thought, whoa, not a single tornado in that video. Oh, bless. Not like the grift, is there? Oh, I will tell you one guy, American guy, I've started watching, and I even bought one of his books. He did a little what you call it, like a booklet, a pamphlet almost, of a shoot he did in an abandoned or practically abandoned town, I think near Las Vegas. I can't remember the name of the bloody place, but it was amazing. And I really like his style, the way he presents. Really, Todd Dominy, his name is Todd Dominy. Absolutely loving the quality of his production is amazing as well, which is again annoying. Like, he probably didn't forget his sound equipment. Yeah, Todd Dominy, give him a go. I think he's really worth a watch. If you've got sort of 20 minutes, you just want to sit back and watch someone interesting at work, that's your man. Okay, I'm trying to get out of the wind, so hopefully this will come through. Let's talk about heather. I came up with this last year when I was shooting a lot of rock formations, not so much tree areas, but rock formations with the heather, and I thought of it as it reminded me a little bit of Swiss Tony from the Fast Show, so Brits might remember this of a certain age, who said that various things were like making love to a beautiful woman. Well, shooting heather is like photographing a beautiful woman in a beautiful dress. And the key is, if anyone's going to put this beautiful woman in a beautiful dress, they have to complement each other. You can't just have this woman so beautiful that the dress doesn't matter, especially if you're the person that made the dress, and you can't have the dress upstage the woman. Okay, so they've got to meet, they've got to complement each other well. And I often think of heather, because this is where my mind works. The heather sweeps up to the focal point, to the subject, and they've got to meet well. So when they come together, you know, and sometimes it means that perhaps if the cloud isn't where I want it to be, the backdrop behind this focal point is too stark, so then all you get is the beautiful heather really, and you kind of miss out what it's leading to. So it's hard, and that's where putting a composition comes together. It might mean being patient, waiting for the right light, you know, because if you've got light at the top but not at the bottom where the heather is, then it's going to be too subdued. So yeah, for me it's I'm dressing my subjects in heather. That's probably the wankiest thing I've said in all the time I've been doing these videos. I should get a badge. Just bumped into a subscriber, Richie Hickling, so shout out to Richie and crew. It was lovely to meet you. Richie has an Instagram page, and also William Hickey. This young guy is going to go it big, professional photographer. Go follow these guys on Instagram, give them a bit of support, you know. We got to look after each other, us guys. Spotted a hot air balloon hovering over the hills in the distance. I'm not going to try and show you because there's no way this is going to pick it up. But if it drifts closer, you never know, might get a shot. So I'll put the 70 to 200 on just in case. But I don't suppose these things move at a good rate of knots, unless they're crashing to the ground, of course. Tittersworth Reservoir is looking like glass. So I was thinking after this I could go down there, maybe get some cheeky shots, reflection shots. Mermaid's Pool, of course. Fenced off. Got to try and bring the ecology back, get it working again. So I appreciate that's got to be done. Just annoying for me personally, but I approve. Let's get that place back to how it should be. Get more of the fluffy bunnies around it and that sort of thing. Okay, hen cloud looking particularly fine this morning. I think I'm going to get a shot, not a heather shot this, I just think it looks really nice. All of the greens are different shades, different tones, they look great. You got a little bit of rock in the foreground. This is a pretty iconic shot. There's absolutely nothing extra special going on here, just I think it looks lovely, so I'm going to take the shot. Okay, here we are. Apologies by the way for the shadowed face. It's because I'm not adjusting the temp, the exposure or anything, and I'm trying to keep out of the wind, so I have to sort of go to where the shadow, because the wind isn't blowing there. It's quite breezy up here. It's beautiful. I mean, it feels great, but it's just not good for the sound. Anyway, I'm at the location I was talking about, and I'm going to walk you through it. Now there's a few ways of going at this. We do have this pathway leading up, which is quite nice. It's got those textures going on. There's arguably the focal point, that mass of rocks at the top, but then look, we've got heather coming down around the bottom there. Really good. We've got a bit of shade, like the green. There's a forest down there, or woodland down there. But this is it really. This is where it's happening. The cloud Though there is cloud, it's a bit wispy, so it's going to be tough, especially with no ND filters. Going to have to do some bracketing to capture that. But I think this will look lovely. Just going to wait for the light to move up just a little bit, and then I'm going to get to work, and I think that'll be a cracking shot. But do you see what I mean about this, about the dressing of the area around the rock? Is that a good analogy? Did that work for you? Let me know in the comments. Going to get a bit of distance on it now. Head to the other side. There's actually, might be quite a nice scene looking the other way as well. If I can just get the cloud sort of involved in it, might look nice. Give that a go. But yeah, I'm going to get further across, just take a wider angle of this shot. And there we go. Hopefully you found this interesting, and you're now going to get all your get those shots done. Just remember that heather in and of itself is probably very pretty, but not the best photograph. But you stick something in there for it to complement, it's going to be amazing. You'll get some cracking shots. What else can I tell you about it? Just remember that if you're stomping through heather, which you shouldn't be really, try and avoid walking on it. Go, through it, through animal trails and that kind of thing. But it'll puff up a load of pollen, and that can get into your camera. So don't be doing anything silly like switching lenses without protecting the sensor when you're in the middle of heather, because you'll end up with a very dirty sensor. That's about it really. Everything else I think is common sense. Just use your usual rules of lighting and, I guess rule of thirds where applicable. But most of all, have fun with it. I think it really dresses up. I'll bet, in fact, if you look at some locations that you've been to in the past and thought, yeah, it's not quite working for me, which happens a lot with me, this heather will make a difference if it's got any around it. Right, I'm out. See you for the next one.